Hey friends, it's Ren, and today I have a very exciting video. The beginning of a very exciting video. I personally am very excited, if you couldn't tell by the high pitch that I just engaged in, because I'm finally going to be reading one of my most anticipated books of the year, which is, it's upside down, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I've been waiting and waiting for this book. I tried to get an arc in every way possible, but I am just not influential enough. But it doesn't matter because it's finally in my grubby little paws, and I'm going to be, this is obviously just the dust jacket, but I have it over there because I'm so ready to read it that I've already cracked it open, took the dust jacket off. I'm so ready. The way that I understand it is this book is about a girl named Addie LaRue who is unhappy with her life circumstances, so she makes a deal with the devil, and I don't know if what the deal is specifically. I don't know, because I know she lives forever or is immortal in some way, and I know that the catch is that she won't be remembered, but I don't know if she made the deal to be immortal or to change her life circumstances in some way. I'm not sure, but we're gonna find out real soon because I'm about to crack open this bad boy and just get into it. So please come along in this journey. So is there anything more corny than the fact that I'm 16 pages in and I'm already almost in tears? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think part of it is the anticipation, but the other part of it is the way that it's written is really evocative of emotion, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this. You guys are about to see me cry in high definition, but I already love it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I feel like I'm gonna be really emotionally damaged by this book. But let me just continue. Okay, I'm further in now, and there's Catholicism in this book. I mean, we're just pressing all my buttons at this point. If you're wondering, you know, why I keep stopping to talk to you, first of all, it's just because I have to vlog, because I made this a vlog, but also it's because I'm really intimidated to go forward, because as much as I'm liking it right now, I keep thinking, but what if I don't? And I keep putting a lot of pressure on this book, and I don't want to do that. So, you know, slow and steady, just taking it, savoring it like a fine wine. Maybe that's the best thing to do. Watch me finish this by tonight. So now I'm about 800 pages in, so I feel like I can actually talk about this book and have actual opinions. The only negative that I have is it's kind of slow. Like, the fact that I'm 100 pages in and I feel like very little has happened. I get that there needs to be setup and that it's understandable, but to be a quarter of the way through the book and not have that much going on is not the best. Like I said, it's a very small thing, and it's like the only thing that's annoying me, and it's not even really annoying me, so that's whatever. I feel like I just need something to balance out the really good things I'm about to say. First and foremost, I really like the prose style. It's very purple, I would say, so if that's not your thing, this might not be the book for you. Just every line is very lyrical, and I really like that in my books, so that is going very well for me. Second, I like the focus on art within the story, specifically Addie. There's a lot of discussion of stories and the different storytelling methods and the different art methods that we have as humans, and I just really like it. I really like it when stories engage in that stuff. Next, the person, I think I said that at the beginning that she makes a deal with the devil. That's not actually true. It's like an old god, like some sort of pagan deity. I love that way more than the devil. Love that a lot, actually. I really like stories that deal with deities in some way, especially in this kind of way where it's like folklore-ish almost. So I'm very happy that that's the turn that it took. Also, the deity, the god, he's stepping on the Darkling's neck. I'll say it. The last thing is, this book is kind of reminding me of like what I love about fantasy, which is like the introduction of kind of complex ideas, or not even complex ideas, just extremely human ideas and emotions and fear, and putting them into a new format or a new situation, like specifically everyone forgetting Addie. I think it's definitely a fear that a lot of people have, that they're not going to leave any sort of impact on the world, that they're not going to be remembered in some way. So I think that putting that in this story and dealing with it in a way that is very like mystical. I think it's really interesting. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it a lot. As I said before, I was extremely close to tears at the beginning, but other than that, I have not cried yet. It's a very sad story. I don't think people said that it was sad, but I don't think that I was expecting it to be this sad. So yeah, I'm sure that I'll be crying at some point, and because of, again, my new fancy camera, you guys will get to see me cry like never before. So yeah, I'm going to continue onward. I had a bit of a break, so now I'm ready to just really get into it. Hopefully I will, it's Saturday today, hopefully I will finish tomorrow because I don't know, I just want to. Like, I want to be able to recover from the book hangover that I know that this is gonna give me. So I'm about 150-ish pages in now, and I want to talk a little bit more about fantasy and playing on human fears and emotions and making them fantastical, because a big part of this reading, to me personally, what I'm getting from this is like the human fear of being perceived, but also the human desperate desire of being perceived and having someone understand you and see you completely. I think that this book engages with that a lot in a very creative way, and I'm feeling emotions. I don't know if this is like, I'm like reading too much into it or like feeling too deep about it, but that reading is valid to me. I don't know, this just has a lot to say about loneliness and like the human condition and how we strive to make connections. What is that? Oh, it's BoJack Horseman. I'm gonna butcher this quote, but he says, all we have in this world are the connections that we make. And I keep thinking about that quote as I read this because, you know, what is freedom without people to share it with? Not to get too galaxy brain. I'm really enjoying it still, but I just wanted to give you some more thoughts. This book is very sad, and so are human beings. In this essay I will, no, I'm just kidding. So I'm officially halfway through now. It is getting close to my bedtime, which is very early because I get up very early, but I kind of want to keep reading. Like, I'm literally in my pajamas. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to call it a night. But but this is so good. Like, and it just got even better. This is a spoiler-free vlog, so I'm not gonna say what's so great that's happening right now, but this book is really taking me out. I guess you'll find out in the next clip if I continued reading or not. So obviously I went to sleep because sleep is important, but it is still Sunday, it's still the weekend, so hopefully I will be able to finish Addie today. I kind of also don't want to finish it because it is so good, you guys. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I don't want to, it's hard because I know when a book is really popular like this, a lot of people are like, do they actually like it? Like, is this just one of those things where booktube is, you know, all obsessed with the same book for no real reason? I get that thought pattern, but like, this book is very different from anything that I've ever read. It's a very unique book, and it's very different from anything V.E. Schwab has released. Like, the writing style obviously is similar because it's still V.E. Schwab, and Addie, the protagonist, is very similar to other female protagonists she's written before, but at the same time, it's just so unique to her and to just the world. So I'm really happy that this book exists, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm very happy that I'm enjoying it because, like I said, most anticipated book of the year, and yeah, it's not disappointing. So I'm going to continue reading, and if I have any other feelings or if I start to cry, which is very real fear of mine in the second half of this book, I will let you guys know. I have less than 100 pages left now. I had to stop and start a few times. I got a pomegranate de-seeder and I was very excited to use it, but I don't want this book to be over at all. This might be in my top 5 favorite books of the year. It is honestly like rewiring my brain. I don't know how else to put it. It's just so good. Again, I still haven't cried, which is unbelievable to me. It's really good. Like, that's all I can say at this point. When I'm done, I'll be able to talk about it more. But I don't want to be done. I'm not gonna say anything except we knew that it was gonna happen because I'm me. End of clip. So I'm done. And I don't want to talk about it right now. Okay? I don't have words. I don't have words right now. I will come back to you maybe later today, possibly tomorrow. I just can't do it right now. So it is the next day. I decided to sleep on it because I was clearly in a state of dramatics and incoherency. I still might be kind of in that state even though it's over 24 hours since I finished this book. If you follow me on Instagram, which is linked below in case you're interested, you will have probably maybe seen my post about this book. I'm gonna kind of reiterate it here because I just feel like I phrased it the way that I wanted it to be said and the way that I actually felt. So I'm sorry if this is the second time you're hearing this. And I'm also sorry, but also not sorry, that I'm about to get really earnest. I feel like I've been getting really earnest and kind of sappy lately, but like I'm kind of leaning into that. I'm kind of over the whole pretending like we're too cool to love things earnestly. So I'm just gonna talk about my feelings about this book in a very honest and open way. So I've always believed in the power of storytelling and in the way that it affects the world. Stories have definitely made me think deeply about my life. They've definitely made me think about my hopes and my fears and like the human emotions, and it's helped me to even better understand people that don't have the same experiences that I do. And I'm talking about fiction specifically here. I think that nonfiction operates in a way that is completely different, or even poetry. Fiction specifically, you know, I believe in the power of stories. That said, I always thought people were being kind of dramatic when they said like a book or a work of fiction changed their life. I don't want to be, again, the melodrama of it all. I still am kind of like hesitant to even say that this book had such a great impact on me because it just feels so corny to say, but it really did. I am, you know, generally a pretty prideful, stubborn person. Admitting that I'm wrong or that I was being too harsh or anything like that, I don't love it. It's not my favorite thing in the world. So you know that I have to mean it when I do say that Addie did change my life, or have a very, no, I'm gonna say change my life. Like, it changed the way that I'm looking at the world now. And that may be kind of soon to say after just like a day, but I feel physically changed somehow in some way. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that. Please tell me if you have, but I definitely feel it with Addie. I don't want to get too into like the reasoning that I have behind it because I feel like it gets a little more personal than I would like, and I don't want to talk too much about like my own personal struggles or my mental health or my fears and that type of thing. Like, I'm not ready to do that on the internet yet. I just think that there's something so powerful and raw about reading a book and having like the irrational paranoid thought that the author somehow had access to your brain, and even specifically like parts of your brain that you try not to look at. It's weird to think that you're reading something that so clearly reflects the thoughts that you maybe don't want to have, or that you do have but you don't want to acknowledge or think critically about. Again, I keep talking about the same thing with like fantasy taking human emotion or human experience and moving it into a place that is exaggerated, and I think that that makes it easier to see and easier to understand, and that's kind of what it did for me with Addie. I suddenly have this shape and this untangled ball, or slightly untangled ball, of thoughts that I had or fears that I had, and it's suddenly made a little bit straighter, suddenly made a little bit cleaner. Suddenly it feels possible to untie knots from it. So, I mean, needless to say, I feel like all of this is leading up to the fact that yes, I give Addie 5 stars. I love it very much. I feel like even if you don't have the, obviously, like, spiritual, emotional experience that I had while reading it, even if that is true for you, I still think it's a really good story. I think that there are definitely people who aren't gonna like it. It is a bit slow, and not a lot happens, and it's, you know, decently long. So I think that that is definitely going to be a barrier of entry for a lot of people, but I think that if you can get past it, and if you can get past maybe the prose style, the purpliness of it, that you will definitely enjoy it. I can't wait to read this book again. Like, yeah, it was really good. I feel like I'm not being that coherent, so I hope that anything that I say is sticking with you guys and is making some kind of impression, because I don't know how to articulate particularly well how much I loved this book and how much it meant to me, and I just think that it's such a surprise to me coming from V.E. Schwab. Not to say that she's a bad writer by any means, of course not. I love the Shades of Magic series, but like it is just so unlike anything she's written, and it's a lot more thoughtful, I guess, than anything she's ever written. I hope that doesn't sound like a slight to her in any way. I promise that it's not. It's just, it's a lot more introspective. I really loved Addie, and I'm so happy that I loved it, because if I hadn't, that would have been embarrassing. More than anything else, that would have been embarrassing after all of the excitement that I have so openly had about it. So yeah, that's it for this reading vlog, you guys. I really appreciate your presence here. I appreciate you sticking with me through my muddling thoughts. I appreciate myself for sticking with my muddling thoughts, because I'm exhausted. I'm emotionally exhausted from this book. I spent all of today thinking about it. I spent all of today reflecting on the change in feelings that I've had. So I hope that even if that book is not Addie, that you can find a book that functions in that way for you. I'm gonna get off my philosophical milk crate. That's it. I love you guys. You're amazing. Have a great day. Bye!